There are 3 questions that you should ask before you do Roth IRA conversions. Roth IRA conversions are where you take money from your traditional IRA, or you take investments from your traditional IRA and you place them inside of your Roth IRA, and you pay the taxes in the current year, all in hopes that you are avoiding a future tax bill that's larger. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you these 3 questions, and if you can't answer yes to the third one, well, then Roth conversions are probably not going to be part of your plan. Hey everyone, I'm Nick Davis, founder of Brindle & Bay Wealth Management, and I'm here to show you how to retire with calmness and clarity. Once again, if you like our videos, please do me a favor and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every single time. It helps other people to find these videos too. Thank you. All right, if you're a normal person, you don't care about traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs, but deep down inside, you know it has something to do with you enjoying the next phase of life, that next chapter, and you want everything to go according to plan. And so the reason people do Roth conversions is that, number one, they want to avoid a future higher tax bill, and number two, they are trying to build a legacy that is bigger for their next generation. And so if those things aren't true, then maybe Roth conversions wouldn't be smart for you. But committing to the path of doing Roth conversions, in my experience, has been very difficult for people because you have to pay taxes now instead of later. It's the equivalent of pulling the Band-Aid off quickly versus just letting it fall off in the shower over time. And people tend to procrastinate and allow it to just fall off over time, or maybe worse, they have a rude awakening when required minimum distributions happen down the road and they're forced to take higher distributions than they would like to, and their tax bill goes up anyway. Either way, if you're going to commit to a path to do Roth conversions for any substantial amount of time, you better believe in the benefits and know that there are benefits in doing so, because if you just use anecdotes to make this decision, you probably won't commit to the path all the way through. And so I'm going to give you some ideas of how we've helped ourselves figure this out and how to commit to the path so that we can actually see it through in the cases where it is best for people to do Roth conversions. And by the way, I'm not going to tell you to do Roth conversions. In fact, probably more than half of the people that we work with at Brindle & Bay, that my team works with, does not actually perform Roth conversions, even if it may be in their best interest, simply because they just don't want to go over that threshold of paying those taxes now. They'd rather let that Band-Aid fall off over time. So it is a very individual decision that each person gets to make. And it's based on your own narrative, your own financial narrative. You have your own story. I would encourage you to not make this type of decision in a vacuum without your story. Your story is, how much Social Security are you going to have? How much of your savings are you needing to withdraw on an annual basis during different periods of life? What is the tax status of your current savings, right? So everybody has a different narrative. Don't make the decision inside of a vacuum. Build out a tax horizon that you understand where your probable tax rate's going to be throughout the rest of your life. And so what I mean by that is, don't just get to retirement and think, well, I'm going to be in the 15% tax bracket, or I'm going to be in the 25% tax bracket, and assume that that's your tax horizon. After all, right now you might be married, but someday when you're single or your significant other is single, the tax rate will probably go up. You may have things that occur to cause you to be in a higher tax rate than you anticipate. In fact, let's not answer the Roth conversion question by using anecdotes. Anecdotes are like, for example, well, most people are in a lower tax bracket when they stop working, so I probably won't need to do Roth conversions. Or another opposite anecdote is, taxes are definitely going up because everything is so bad, which I personally believe that taxes are going up, but therefore everybody should always do Roth conversions. Well, that's not true either, because in some cases people shouldn't, right? So let's take a holistic approach. And unfortunately, to answer the first 2 questions of the 3 questions, we're going to need to use some type of tool, whether it be an Excel spreadsheet or planning software, to help us to figure out what our tax horizon is likely to look like, because this is based on not only Social Security, but how much money are we going to be pulling out of our accounts and how much tax is that potentially going to already trigger for us. So I'm going to show you what we use at Brindle & Bay Wealth Management for our clients to help them figure out the first of 2 questions. Let's get started. All right. What we're looking at here is a financial plan for Mark and Midge, hypothetical Mark and Midge. And they've got $1.23 million in net worth. Of that $1.23 million, looking at their balance sheet here on their one-page plan, they've got about $723,000 in investments. 92% of that money has not been taxed yet. 3% of it is tax-free, which would be a Roth IRA, and 4.8% of it is still taxable, which means it's already been taxed. Plus, they've got a pretty modest goal of having about $80,000 inflation-adjusted lifestyle for the rest of their life. So that's my way of showing you that there is a narrative that goes deeper than just this page in terms of the assumptions of who this person is. There is their Social Security behind the scenes. There is their healthcare budgeting. There is their unique plan and story. So I'm going to reset this so we can see that this creates their federal income tax bracket. I'm not talking about state taxes. And here right now I'm in Texas. So in Texas, there's no state tax, but this is for them. This isn't just a generic tax horizon. This is based on their distributions that they're going to be taking and their Social Security, et cetera. So you can see they're in the 10 to 12% tax bracket. And then once the law changes and it goes back to the higher tax rates, then all of a sudden that 12% tax bracket becomes a 15% tax bracket. Well, while they're both alive, seems like they're in the 15% tax bracket. What happens here is somebody passed away. So now they're filing as a single tax filer. And now this person, the survivor, is in a 25% tax bracket. Okay, great. Now we have a believable tax horizon, right? We know that a person's probably going to be in the 15% tax bracket and end up in the 25% tax bracket, provided that the government doesn't raise taxes, which could change things, right? And there's a great likelihood of that happening. Now that we have that, we have the tax horizon on another page. This is Mark and Midge's tax horizon. And these brackets above it are if they were to fill that bucket with income that would come from Roth conversions, meaning if they filled that tax bracket up. So we can play with this and say, well, what if we filled up the 15% tax bracket? Or what if we filled up the 25% tax bracket? And what that's just showing us is that at this point, they're done making Roth conversions and they're done paying taxes because they had converted stuff so aggressively. So I'm going to go back for a moment. And many people do make Roth conversions in the 22, 25% tax bracket. But in this example, this is way more moderate to say 15%. You can see it's spread out over time. And, now we've got a good understanding of what we can do. But let's get to these two questions because we want to answer these two questions, right? Question number one is it good for us while we're alive? Okay, so the first of the two questions is it good for us while we're alive? Well, that means, am I going to pay less taxes while I'm alive? So remember, behind the scenes is their narrative. All things are equal. On the right-hand side, we have during their lifetime, if they do no conversions, they will have paid $295,000 in total federal tax. On the left side, if they did Roth conversions to that 15% tax bracket, they would pay $282,000 total federal tax dollars. So the answer to that question is well, no, I wouldn't save on tax money. So question number one, check that off the box. I'm not going to save tax money if I do Roth conversions. Question number two is it good for my heirs? Is it good for my heirs? Which means, do I have more money left over? Now the answer is, on the right-hand side is not doing conversions, leaving to the next generation $976,000 after tax. It came in the form of some tax-deferred money, some Roth money, and some non-qualified money, versus doing Roth conversions and leaving to those heirs $1.6 million of Roth dollars after tax also. The difference here being that this Roth IRA would turn into an inherited Roth. It can then be stretched another 10 years tax deferred and come out tax-free to the heir if done correctly under current law. And this provides a lot of benefit if legacy is a big deal. So question number two is it better for my heirs? The answer here is clearly yes, it's quite a bit better. So in this case, question number one, they paid more taxes. So that's not really an incentive. Question number 2, is it better for my heirs? Well, clearly there's a benefit for legacy purposes in having the Roth IRA and making those conversions. So they paid $13,000 more in taxes over their lifetime, hypothetically, and they made a huge legacy for somebody else. So if that was important, well, then that's a reason to do Roth conversions. If that's not important, or if it's not important enough to be paying taxes every single year for several years, not forever, but more aggressively, well, then you may not do Roth conversions. So that's the 2 questions that we need to quantify looking inside of our narrative. Now let's get to the third question. And to me, this third question is the deal-breaking question. And that is, am I willing to let it defer for many years? Meaning, people spend a lot of effort getting money into Roth, and then they think, well, it's great that I have tax-free money because I can then just go and buy stuff with that money tax-free. Well, the problem is that you really need to let that grow many years to take advantage of the tax deferral, the fact that you paid taxes on that money aggressively. So if you're planning on, spending that money in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even 10 years, probably not the best idea to be very aggressive in doing Roth conversions. You'd probably be better off just to spend your money. So to me, if you can't answer yes to that third question, you probably shouldn't be doing Roth conversions. So that's the 3 questions that you should probably ask to help yourself to determine if Roth conversions are right for you. Full disclosure, there are many other questions that you could ask and considerations. For example, if taxes were to go up drastically, then it would make this look a lot better and more incentivized to make Roth conversions. Or what if there's the opposite of that? What if the government were to take away the benefits of the Roth at some point and you made all this effort to put money into a Roth? So that's a risk. Now, I don't think at this point in time that that's a very big risk, especially since the Secure 2.0 Act just came out and they're very aggressively promoting Roths. However, never say never. You never know. So this was not meant to be an exhaustive list, but these 3 questions can definitely cause you to narrow in on making this very important decision. What about you? Are you going to do Roth conversions? Is that part of your plan? Let me know in the comments. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you'd like to see the way that we help people to create calmness and clarity for their next chapter of life, take a look at us at brindleandbay.com. Again, thanks for watching the videos. Please remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time a new video comes out.